What's up to Lion Talk Live? So we love you too, buddy.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
What's going on, Coach Dan at Lions Talk Live and the Duke Crew. This is Ball Hawk Ifeatu Melifonwu of the Detroit Lions. Everybody make sure you help support the YouTube channel Lions Talk Live by clicking that like and subscribe button. Let's get it and go Detroit.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live and Coach Dan by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
I love nothing more than watching Lions Talk Live every morning. Woo!
And here's my question, everybody out there. How many of you love watching Lions Talk Live every morning? Greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton. I want to thank you all, each and every one of you, for joining us here today. Lions Talk Live, morning show edition. And you know what? I think we've got some good news coming for you. It's a little something to debate and get into today, and that is, the reveal of the unofficial Lions 53-man roster. Who's going to make it? Who's where on the depth chart? All that kind of stuff. We want to get into that today. But before we do, you guys know we got 5 headlines now. We do have some NFC North news and updates to get through. And then also, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. Making that push for 7,200 subs. And we're about, I think, 80 subs, 85 subs away, somewhere right around there. So also, if you enjoy the channel, the content here within, everything within the show, go ahead and hit that thumbs up, the like button. As you probably already know by now, if you watched YouTube for any kind of length of time, it helps the channel out a lot, helps it grow, helps it develop, helps people who haven't yet discovered Lions Talk Live go ahead and do just that. Last but not least, outside of being a YouTuber and a coach, I am a realtor. So if you're looking to buy or sell property anywhere in the continental United States, I work mostly out of Michigan, but if you want, give me a call, shoot me a text. You see the number on the screen, 269-998-2384. Let's have a conversation, see what we can do to save you some money. And, maybe get you into that home you've been dreaming of, or that vacant land, maybe for hunting or development, or if you are looking for something for your business, maybe commercial property. All right, with all those formalities out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the first segment of the day, and that is going to be 5 headlines now. So without further ado, let's get on over to it. If I can find the right thing, and here we go. All right, 5 headlines now, kicking us off. So here we go. And who's ready for some football this week? I think that's the real question. Giants versus Lions, joint practice, 3 matchups to watch. This is from Giants Country, story by Anthony City. So, excuse me. He's going to go ahead and point out a couple key matchups I think everybody's going to want to watch. I know one of them was Gibbs versus the Giants rush defense. Kayvon Thibodeau against the Lions offensive tackles. So a lot of different good mashups. There's probably honestly more than 3. But if you want to start Scooby-Dooing, breaking things down, go ahead and check this out. I would also say a lot of these matchups that the Giants reporter is talking about will be dependent on if MCDC does play any significant starters. I know he's already come out and said he's not planning on it. But what I consider a starter, what you consider a starter, and what he considers a starter may be different. But I do not anticipate any of the number 1s playing this preseason for the Detroit Lions. All right, notes, analyst reveals insights on Lions secondary. This is from Sports Illustrated, story by John Macaron. Most of you guys, I know, have seen this guy before. He's been all over social media. He's been on Woodward Sports, among other ones, Crunch Time Sports. Talking about the Lions, and hey, this is what he does for a living. But he does give some pretty good insights, I believe, John does, in regards to the Lions secondary, their development, who's potentially going to be on the first team or the starters. So go ahead and check that out if you're looking for something to read today or leading up until Thursday. All right, quick takeaways from the first unofficial depth chart Lions Wire. So Jeff Risdon has his that came out, I think it was yesterday. We've got ours that's coming out, obviously, today. So let's go ahead and talk about it, compare them. You want to listen to what we have to say, what the Duke crew has to say about their 53-man roster. That's what we're going to do today. And then if you want, you can compare it to this one. All right, let's see. Detroit Lions Madden 25 player rankings by position. USA Today, story by Billy So City, I don't know how many people play Madden that watch the show. I know some of you do. You've mentioned it in the past. It's one of the biggest debates for fans, players every season when this comes around. When the Madden game comes out, or the rankings at the least come out, you see everybody saying, man, this guy's too high, too low. You heard a lot of players over the decades getting into it thinking that they should be much better. But if you're a Detroit Lions fan, you know what? It's almost like a rite of passage to see where it's at. The only thing I can say, I've played the game for the most part since it came out way back in the day on the computers back in the 80s. So I played it that long. Of course, also means I've been around that long. But I would say that this is probably the first time since the early, maybe mid-90s, where you've seen the Detroit Lions this prominent in the game. I want to say they're like the number 4 or 5th best overall team rankings-wise in the game. And there's probably some room that if the Lions really do well this year, they update the rankings weekly on players, that they could improve upon that number 4 or 5 ranking overall. All right, and then last the 5 headlines now. Detroit Lions' biggest takeaways from training camp practice on last Friday. Sporting news story by Mike Marotti. So he goes ahead and talks about some of the things that I think we're all aware of. The kicking debate, I guess, with Jake Bates, what's going on there. Yes, he struggled. Are the Lions going to look to replace him, or at least add competition, trying to find a little bit more, I guess, consistency out of the kicking position? That's one of the big notes there that Mike writes on. And I would say this, we all get it. Bates, the first week of training camp was pretty dang good. When Michael Badgley got hurt, not a lot of people were, shaking their heads or feeling doom and gloom in regards to the kicking game. But in regards to last week, I think just about everybody wrote on it, whether it's national media or YouTube content or whatever have you, that Jake Bates did have some real struggles last week. Some of the shine's starting to come off him. Yes, he's still got that howitzer for a leg, perhaps the biggest in all the NFL, but he's only hitting, at least last week, he's only hitting about 60% of his field goals. And yes, some of those are from deep range. Some of them were just 40-plus yard field goals. So where the Lions go with this, I think that's going to be one of the biggest questions in training camp, other than guys just fighting to make certain roster spots or to make the depth chart. All right, now with the 5 headlines out of the way, let's go ahead and get over into NFC News and Notes. All right, NFC North News and Notes. Let's go ahead and get into it. Chicago Bears training camp report, ongoing O-line health issues create questions about Caleb Williams' preseason time. And this is from the Chicago Tribune. So if they're out there watching him on a daily basis and saying the offensive line is not doing well, I'm going to say this, that if I'm the Chicago Bears, front office and coaching department, I probably do have some real worries about putting Caleb Williams out there in the preseason game. If he's going to get hurt, if he's going to get lit up, I probably want it to be in a regular season game, not in a preseason game. The other side of that, me as a coach, I do want him out there for selfish reasons. I want to get him every opportunity to develop, grow, improve, and start learning the nuances in the offense plus the NFL level. What they're ultimately going to do, I think they're in a tough spot. Sort of like the Rams, who the Rams apparently, man, they've got injuries all over that offensive line, and now some in the secondary. You feel bad for any team going through it this year, or this time of the year, I should say. But the Chicago Bears, even though they are our foes, they are hitting some injury walls, much like the LA Rams. All right, Minnesota Vikings cancel Monday night's practice, will refund fans. So they were going to have basically like a team event, tonight, where, hey, fans could come on in, watch the practice, watch the scrimmage, Vikings versus Vikings, everything. But due to some weather issues, they're canceling it. They are going to issue a full refund, and those fans who were due to come can come to the next one when it is rescheduled. Although the tough part about this time of year, there's really no time to reschedule it. So how they're going to pull that off, wait and see. All right, Green Bay Packers Family Night Review, Jordan Love highlights, recap, and this is from USA Today. So we've all been debating, is Jordan Love the guy that we saw the last 8 games of last season's regular season and playoffs, or is he the guy that we saw the first half of the season? That's the big debate. What we can say is in the family night, he was pretty dang good. Now, that's against his own defense. He knows them probably pretty well. He should have a real high level of comfortability with that. So we're going to have to wait and see in the regular season how he fares. My guess is he's going to be pretty decent. Is he going to be, is he going to be the number one quarterback in the NFC? That we'll have to wait and see. All right, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get over to the main topic of the day. All right, so today we're talking about the Lions 53, and this is my unofficial 53-man roster. So you guys are going to have thoughts and takes on it. By all means, throw them over, and if you like it, great. If not, that's okay too. But let's go ahead and get over to it, and I'll bring it up. Let's see, get over to it, and we're going to go through this one thing at a time and see what you guys have to say. Probably not a real surprise here when it comes to the quarterbacks. I've got Goff at 1. Hendon Hooker 2. Sudfield, if they keep him, number 3. Brian Branch, I did move to safety, by the way. And, that's not a big shock number right now, but I do have him as the number 1 overall. So keep that in mind. I think he's number 1 safety. Now, the big battle, I think, for everybody is the number 2 spot. That's where I'm going to say this. My thoughts are my thoughts and my thoughts alone. I went ahead and moved Iffy to the number 2 safety spot. Also means that, hey, you got some flexibility now where I think the Lions are going to run on a lot of different packages, 3 safety formations. I think that is going to be the case. Running back room, probably not a big surprise here. I went with Gibbs 1, Montgomery 2, and from there, that's where it gets interesting. I've got actually Jefferson as number 3, and then Baki is number 4, and that's it. I went with those 4. Craig Reynolds, unfortunately, I like the guy. I just think, you're seeing Jefferson do, a very good camp. So I think that's where they're ultimately going to go this year with it. Now, from there, I went to tight end, and not a big shock here, hey, who the top guys are. So no spoiler alerts there, but I do think that you're going to have battles throughout training camp with this thing to see who makes it. Tight ends, though, here's what I went. Laporta, Brock Wright. Okay, everybody gets that. Parker Hess, that's where I went with the number 3 spot. Is there a possibility they keep a 4th one? Absolutely. If they do, I'd like to see James Mitchell make it, but I think Shane Zylstra, just because his involvement in the passing game and what he's done in the past, that's where I think they ultimately would go with it. Although, man, Mitchell and Zylstra are just right there back and back with each other. Khalif Raymond, that's why I have his wide receiver number 3 on the depth chart, along with Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, number 1 and 2. No shocks there. From there, Donovan Peoples-Jones was my number 4, and then Green is who I had as the number 5. Although Draquan Smith, Darius Fountain are making battles, as we all know, in camp. I think this one's going to go down to the wire. I think probably different than every other battle on the team. This is the one where you got the biggest area to see guys move across the board. Who could be number 4? Who could be out the door? And that's where I think it's just there's until we see it in preseason games. I just don't think from what little video I've seen or reports we've gotten out of training camp, I'm just not seeing anybody really pull away as far as number 4, 5, and 6. And then, to have 6, you got to keep 6. I think there is some possibility Lions only keep 5 wide receivers. Offensive linemen, I'm not really going to go through just because I think that one's got so much room for different debates and stuff. And to be fair, I'd be speculating on some of them just because until you see them in games, it's really hard to say. The starting 5, I think we all get the starting 5 offensive linemen. So those guys are safe. After that, I think you're probably looking at Scoresdale is your number 6. Manu's going to be number 7. They're not going to put him, unless they're going to put him on IR. They're not going to put him on the practice squad. He'll be gone. Mahogany, he'll be there when healthy. Yodi will be up there. After that, I guess it's a wait and see. Now, I want to go back real quick to the quarterback position. It's from all reports, and that's all I can say is from reports, Sudfield has been the better backup quarterback. But, of course, he's a veteran. He's been through this all. He knows what's going on, what's happening, etc. I just think Hendon Hooker's got more upside. And there's always, I shouldn't say always, but we typically overreact to any reports of a rookie struggling. And to me, Hendon Hooker, I've said it before on the show, he's going to struggle or has been struggling because this is all new to him. He hasn't played in basically 2 years. So this is going to be an opportunity for him to kind of right the ship. I am anticipating when we make it to the regular season, Hendon Hooker is your backup quarterback. And it's no disrespect to Nate Sudfeld. I think from everything you're getting from different people, he's having a heck of a training camp. But that being said, I just think Hendon Hooker has so much more upside, but been wrong before. All right, let's move on to the defensive line. A lot of this comes down to how you're going to label guys. So if I don't have this 100% right, forgive me. But let's start with the interior. Let's go with that. DJ Reader, hey, no surprise here. He's probably your interior lineman, number one. From there, Aleem McNeil. After that, that's where I think everybody starts, wondering what's going to happen. I do have Levi Onwuzurike and Broderick Martin as your primary backups. So there's 4 right there. As the defensive ends, and this is probably the area with the biggest question marks on it, because who are you going to quantify as an end? Who are you going to quantify as an outside linebacker? Aiden Hutchinson, he's safe. I'm going to help you out there. Spoiler alert, he's not going anywhere. From there, in training camp, I'm going to say this. I'm going to go with Mekhi Wingo as, by the end of training camp, I think this kid's got a chance to be the defensive end opposite. Now, that's with you listing Marcus Davenport, James Houston as linebackers, not defensive ends. If you're going to list them as ends, I'm probably putting both of them over Mekhi Wingo. But with that also being said, right now we're going to the assumption those 2 are linebackers. So Hutch, Wingo. From there, I think you got Joshua Pascal on that list. He's not having a great camp from all reports. Really needs to pick it up. It probably does to save his hiney a little bit here. Kaminsky's out. We all get that, and he's going to be out for a while. After that, I guess it comes down to who you're going to list as what. And that's kind of the problem with doing the 53-man roster. I will say this is going to be the most talented team, no surprises there, that we've ever seen. But I think you've got a lot of guys that are being flexed around from one spot to the next. And that's where I think the defensive end, the linebackers just blend together so much. And that's going to be one of the problems with procrastinating who's going to be on the 53 or not. Kendall Vildor, not that he's a defensive end, but just so you guys know, I have him not making the team. So I like the guy. I get he's forever going to be remembered in Lions lore for having the would-be interception bounce off his face mask and go into 49ers guy's hands, Brandon Ayuk. But hey, it is what it is. At the end of the day, though, even though he played great last year, when he had his opportunities against 49ers, he was not, unfortunately, as good as he could have been. And I don't have him making the Detroit Lions. So, all right, not going to go through everybody at length. Otherwise, we'll make this a 2-hour episode. But linebackers, that's another good spot where I think you're going to have a lot of stuff. So, like we already said, Davenport, Houston, they're going to make it as linebackers, in my opinion. Then that's where the conversation really begins, because really one, if not both, these guys should be defensive ends. So here's my question then. If those 2 are going to be listed as linebackers as they currently are on the in the Detroit Lions official roster rankings or whatever on the website, that's where I would ask you guys this. Who makes it on the linebacking core? Jack Campbell? I think he's safe. Alex Anzalone? Safe. Derek Barnes? Safe. Rodrigo? Safe. So if you're going to carry all of them and now add those 2, that's a lot of linebackers. Now, again, some of these guys are going to play end, but I also think it's a tell what the Lions are projecting to do with a lot of these guys. We've been talking about it all week long that some of the defensive tackles, in my opinion, are going to play end this year. Like, I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities for Levi Onwuzurike, Broderick Martin, whoever, to play the end opposite Hutchinson, because they're more or less going to use a 3-4 technique. It's going to be a hybrid scheme version like they used to do in the Saints, but that's where I think they're ultimately going with things. That's why I think you see so many guys now listed as linebackers, because they're going to be their role. Jake Bates, not Jake Bates, but Betts, I do think he's going to make the roster also. And is he going to be listed as end or linebacker? I'm guessing linebacker, because you heard Campbell last week talk about him playing the Sam spot. So that's where, forgive me if it's not crystal clear who's going to be an end or linebacker, but some of that is just because I think, you're talking semantics. As far as everything else, I think we pretty much got it, other than the kicker spot. I do think it's going to be a deep dive they are going to look for probably somebody else, especially if Bates struggles again this week. If he recovers and goes back to who he was the first week of the preseason, that's where I think you're probably safe. And then maybe you just play it by week basis. The other part is, if you're going to move on from Jake Bates, you got to have somebody else that you feel better about. And who's that person going to be? Man, that's a question I can't answer. All right, let's go ahead and head over to the Duke Crew, see what you guys have to say. If I apologize if I missed anything, some of the notes and everything I had when I went to it to pull it up at the start of the show, I don't know, they just didn't load. So I apologize from not having it all right out here in front. But yeah, I don't think there's any big surprises here. Jameson Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, your respective number one wide receiver, number one and number two. Taylor Decker, Glasgow, Ragnall, Zettler, Penei Sewell. Hey, there's your starting offensive line, backing them up. I've got Kobe Scoresdale as your backup to Penei. Gosh, I always murder this guy's name. We signed him from the Bills, free agent. Ike Bolgetter, he's going to be a backup at guard. Michael Ness, he's going to be backup at center. Yodi, he's going to be also a backup guard, and Skipper also a backup tackle. Tom Kennedy, I know some of you guys were asking. I don't think he's going to make the roster. It's nothing against him. I don't think he's going to be one of the top 6 guys on the team. So just food for thoughts there. I'm trying to think if there's any other notes here. Starting cornerbacks. I know a lot of you guys have asked that, so let's go there real quick. I have Davis, Robertson, and Arnold as the starting cornerbacks. I know before I kind of thought they were going to lean towards 3 veterans starting, and that would be with Emmanuel Mosley starting. But we haven't talked about it a ton last week. But Terrion Arnold is quietly putting on a great camp for the Detroit Lions, and talking this weekend to multiple different reporters about it. What they've seen in camp, etc. They're all saying the same thing. You're not talking about him because there's nothing to talk about, really. There's no bad thing to talk about. Now, he's not making some of the interceptions that, say, Rakestraw is, but some of that, as they also point out, is, hey, Rakestraw is playing mostly against the 2s and 3s, so if Sudfield or Hendon Hooker throws a pass behind somebody or off target, Rakestraw is all over it. Arnold is mostly playing with the 1s, so when he's out there, he's shutting guys down to the point where people aren't throwing the ball at him. Yes, occasionally he gets burnt like all rookies do. But yes, I've had to change my mindset on who the starting corners are going to be, and that's what I have right now. I've got Davis III, Arnold, and Robertson, along with Branch. And like I said, Ife Melifanu, that's why I'm starting at the safeties. Kirby Joseph, there's an argument definitely to be made that he should be starting next to Brian Branch. And I do think a lot of different times, all 3 guys are going to be on the field at the same time. It's just, hey, when I watch them play, what I like to do, if you're not going to have any single high safety, which is really Kirby's strength, if you're really going to go just 9s across the board, everybody locked up man-to-man, press coverage, every play, then in my opinion, Ife is better at that than Kirby. And it's nothing against Kirby. It's just not his strength, where it is more of a strength of Ife Melifanu. All right, as far as special teams, this could be another big one that I think a lot of people are going to ask about, and that's kick return. I've got Cleef Raymond on punts. That's who I'm going with. As far as Jefferson probably for kickoff returns, and that could obviously change. We haven't seen how the Lions are going to utilize the new kickoff rules just yet, but that's where I'm going with things. All right, let's head on over to the Duke Crew, see what you guys have to say. What are your thoughts on the 53? Who do you think maybe should be kept that maybe I didn't mention or whatever it is? Let's go ahead on over to it. But those are my thoughts so far. I do think Hendon Hooker is going to ultimately be the backup quarterback unless he really just struggles throughout the preseason. To me, everything will be decided with him, how he does from week 1 to week 2. If he struggles in week 2 and doesn't make noticeable improvements, that's where you probably open up the doors for some things. All right, let's head on over. JDC, good morning, all. Good morning to you, too. Moonscar, good morning. Dan and the Duke Crew, exclamation point. Won't be here long today. Flying to Chicago. Got my It's a Locked North Division Champs shirt on. Go Lions hat. Hey, all the above. Go celebrate and do whatever you're going to do in Chicago and represent Detroit and the Lions. Frank the Tank, good morning, Duke Crew. Woo, woo. Go Lions. Good morning to you, too. And just for you, my friend, hey, let's throw you a little just to get that show going. All right, Detroit D, greetings, salutations to everyone back at UD. Hopefully having a great day. Clark, good morning, Wild and Crazies. Just a few more days until we go watch our team play. Yeah, it'll be just a couple more days here. Thursday's here. You get to watch the Lions and the Giants. We're going to have reports throughout the week of how they're practicing or scrimmaging together. And then, yes, you go ahead and get to the big game, the first preseason game. Let's be honest. I think this is going to be the most watched preseason in Detroit Lions history. You're going to have people just glued to those TV screens. Maybe not for all 4 quarters, but I think there's a lot of people with built up desire to watch the team. It's been months since you've seen them play San Francisco, and now you got an opportunity to watch some of the younger guys that we've all been speculating how good or bad they're going to be. So, yeah, it's going to be watched, in my opinion. See, Jess, good morning, y'all. Hey, does anyone else think it's time we look for another kicker? Question mark. Feeling like Bates might not be the guy. I think a lot of it comes down to how he does this week. I mean, don't you think? His first week, very good. Last week, not so good. So if he recovers this week, and let's just say he makes 70, 80, or 90% of his kicks, that's probably going to help alleviate some of the concerns. But to go from 90% the week before, 95, whatever it was, down to like 60% last week, that raised, I think, a lot of worries. So hopefully he takes a deep breath, has a kumbaya moment, and then gets himself right. All right, see, Matthew Greens and salutations. Good morning, everyone. Superdome, Super Bowl, woo, woo, woo. And good morning to you, too. And just for you, let's do a little Sheila woo for you. Just got to find it on the screen. Man, the more keys I add here, the harder it is to always find something on demand. Still cracks me up, though. All right, moving back to the comments. All right, Stephanie, good morning, boys. Exclamation point. Non-lines related question. Anyone watch that 100-meter dash at the Olympics yesterday? Question mark. That was crazy how close of an ending it was. Yeah, it's not my forte. It's not something I can comment on a lot. I was just surprised. I was happy the U.S. Runner won it. But if you look at that snapshot replay, to me, somebody would have to explain it, but it looks like somebody else's foot crosses the line first. I don't know how that all works. I mean, unfortunately, track and field isn't something I covered a ton over my years or decades as a reporter. So somebody else will have to explain that to me. Mo, good morning, Dew Crew. I'm out of my depth this AM, but I see Super Bowl. Woo! And good morning to you, too. Hopefully you'll find your depth. See, Darcy, greetings and salutations. There are a lot of good battles going on for depth chart spots on the team. Some good players are going to develop due to this. Yeah, the saying we always say, it seems like on the show, you take 2 people, you get them to battle. Hey, somebody's going to turn into dust. Somebody else is going to turn into diamond. Iron sharpens iron. Whatever you're going to say. This is going to benefit our team a ton, I believe, because I think you get past the first 20, 30 guys. Those guys are pretty much set in stone. They're going to make the team. They probably have a realistic idea where they're at on the depth chart. But then if you go beyond that, that's where you get the 20 or 30 guys battling to make the roster. To make, hey, am I going to be number 1 on the chart, number 2, 3, 4, etc.? I mean, let's real quick go back to my depth chart. And just for the sake of discussion, I've got Marcus Davenport as one of the, I switched on my depth chart from defensive end, from linebacker to just edge. He's probably starting. That's my guess as an edge rusher in some capacity. Aleem McNeil, DJ Reader, everybody gets it. If they're healthy, they're out on the field. But going back to Davenport, let's just say Levi Onwuzurike is just balling out these next 3 weeks. Could he supplant Davenport? I think there's an opportunity for it. Obviously, I am 100% biased. I think James Houston is the real McCoy and put him out there. But I will also say this. The more I've watched this training camp, and I'd say they're not really looking for that opposite edge of Hutchinson being a true pass rusher. That's where I started removing James Houston from being an opportunity to start over there, because that's not really what the team's looking for. I think he's more than likely going to be the backup to Aiden Hutchinson, somebody who's just in there to get to the quarterback. And Hutch does more than that. I'm not trying to negate anything he does, but in that scenario, that's where I think James Houston is probably going to succeed. Is if Hutchinson comes out, and let's just say they keep him on the field only 70% of the plays. That's where I think Houston comes in, and those 30%, he's just playing to his strengths. Get after the quarterback, not as concerned about the run. So we'll wait and see how that all shakes out. All right, Amy, good morning. Dan, the Duke Crew, exclamation point. I hope everyone had a great weekend. Yes, that final 53-man roster will be amazing. Such wonderful talent. Super Bowl and Superdome, here we come. Woo! And I agree. And by the way, if I missed anything with a 53-man roster, don't be afraid to throw it in the comment section and let me know. Again, my notes and everything kind of crashed right when we were going live, so I had to kind of do it as much as I could from memory, try to remember what I had pushed everywhere. A couple things I got to pop back up, but not as organized as I would like, and I apologize for that. See, Brent, good morning, Dan, the Duke Crew. I'm wondering if Fountain can keep up this level of play and be our wide receiver number 5 or 6, question mark. So far, he's been balling. Yes, he has. And this is from a guy that, throughout his time in the NFL, hasn't really put up big numbers by any stretch of the imagination, hasn't been exemplary, but, everybody comes in a different growth opportunity. Everybody develops differently. Maybe this is just the right system for him. Maybe it's just the right time of day. I don't know. But you are spot on, Brent. He's been playing and playing pretty well. He's got a real opportunity to make this team. Now, it's just he's got to probably finalize making it in the next couple of weeks because, as we all know, I think it's 22 days away from the cuts from 90 down to 53. He's got an opportunity to earn that spot. See, Miles Barker, good morning, all. Hey, Moonscar, have a good trip. Nice clothing choice. Yes, sir. Way to represent. Moonscar, Rams are, stacking injuries. Puka Nacua now injured. We better still be ready. Yes, we better be ready. Hey, their offensive line, there's some of their secondary, and who knows what's going on with Puka. I get they were saying it was something to do with his knee, but they were also, in any of the reports that came out yesterday about it, they were nondescript what was going on. So, hey, wait and see. They've got a month, basically, until we play. A lot of guys can get healthy in a hurry in that time. See, France, good evening, all. Who's going to win the battle for the 53? That's what we're here to talk about today. Let me know your thoughts. See, Detroit D, Thursdays, we got football, Lions versus Giants. Woo! Can't wait, man. And I think just about everybody out there is chomping at the bit to watch that game. I know I'm probably going to watch the first half. I doubt if I'll watch the second half, but I'm probably planning on watching the full first half. Big Eddie, can't wait for it. 100%. Eddie, again, good morning, all. Back at you. See, Moonscar, Quandre Diggs is now a Titan. I did see that yesterday. He had like $5 million for the upcoming season. And, hey, give the Titans some credit. They have quietly and kind of sneakily started to develop a very good secondary. So where it's all going to go, who knows? But I think they're making some investments more than I would have anticipated this year. Maybe they feel they're closer to winning than I thought they were. But, I guess just because I don't cover them on a regular basis, I thought they were probably a little bit more rebuild mode. But you look at some of their free agent signings, they're kind of pointing that maybe they're not thinking that. See, Miles, Stephanie Water saw it, blew me away 100%. Yeah, it is a photo finish of that race, the 100-meter. And, man, if you want to make an argument to me that somebody else won it versus somebody else, I don't see where you could disagree with it. But, again, I don't know all the rules about what quantifies who won and who didn't. Somebody else would have to Scooby-Doo that and deep dive that. See, France, he's the past moon, hasn't been here in a while, in years now. Quandre Diggs, gotcha. Yeah, he's been gone for a while, him, Slay, and everything. Imagine if we would have kept all of them. Of course, we might not be exactly where we are now, so there's that side of it too. Trey, what's good all, question mark? I feel like we now have at least one high-end defensive player at each level in the defense. Am I wrong? Well, let's start up front. The defensive line, I don't know if we have a true elite player, but Aiden Hutchinson, I've compared him to Bruce Smith from the day we drafted him. He reminds me eerily of him. You could probably throw somebody else there if you want to go old school Lions, like a Robert Porcher or an Al Baker. He's that kind of talent, in my opinion. I mean, I won't call him elite, but I mean, if he's not, then he's just a notch below that. DJ Reader, I don't think he's quite Aiden's level, but he's like just a notch below him. So 2 real good guys. How about that on the line? And then Lee McNeil, he might just break out and become their level as well this year. So if we go with that, then you've probably got 3 guys on the defensive line who are arguably elite. Linebackers, we're going to have to wait and see. Right now, I would say there's nobody who's elite. There's some good players there. Maybe Jack Campbell, maybe Derek Barnes or Anzalone have a breakout year this year. If they do, maybe they get into the kind of that conversation. They're not elite. They're just a notch below. In regards to the secondary, just the corners. And again, this year, I think corner is something we're going to use loosely with this team, because the difference between a safety and a corner, for the most part with this team, is going to be, I mean, you're splitting hairs with it. But Brian Branch, I think he's not elite. He's just a notch below that. So he's a very, very good player. From there, like I said, I had to change my 53-man roster with the cornerbacks because Arnold has been playing so well in camp. It's not games yet, so got to take it with a grain of salt, but he's been playing incredibly well from all reports. Carlton Davis, I love the guy. I thought it was a great addition. I don't think I'd call him elite by any stretch, but I'd say maybe a notch or two below elite, but a very good player. So how about this? There's very good players at every level of the defense now, which we couldn't always say that in the past few years. Robert, good morning, Duke Crew and Dano! Exclamation point. Lots of rain in Florida today. Good thing I live on a hill. Good thing, man. Yeah, don't let that water take you out to sea. See, Lions fan number one, greetings and salutations all. Who's got a better team than us? Question mark. And I think that's a good question. If you look at the NFL, I know we talked about the Madden stuff, and I won't dive into Madden because what reality is and what's in the video games, it's all subjective. You're asking somebody for their opinion on a player, and whether or not that's an accurate opinion, that's different. But to your point, it'd be hard to name a team or two in the NFL that are clearly better than the Detroit Lions. So I'd say you can make an argument we are the best team in the NFL. See, Bo, do we have any photo finish on the roster? Do we have a photo finish on the roster? Man, it comes down to who's doing the photography, and if you think it's what I'm listing is A-OK. We'll go with that. See, Robert, it's good to practice against the Giants. New people to hit. I agree with that. You get tired of hitting yourself, your friends, and everything. Hey, go out there and unleash the fury on somebody else. See, Moonsguard trade Tipson feels that way. Now we just need to see it on the field. Agreed with that, 100%. Maybe we do have some elite players. You're going to have to see the product on the field before we can probably honestly answer that. Let's see, Robert, if I can get this thing to pop up here. There we go. Robert, hope our kicker situation gets resolved. Yeah, it's going to be a big week or two for that department. I think we're all okay with the punter. Jack Fox, he's not going anywhere. Everybody's okay with him. To me, the question does become Jake Bates. You've heard me say it before. He's incredibly rare. That leg is like nothing else on planet Earth. So if they don't bring in another kicker, to me, that's a telling sign, because they say the only thing wrong with him is just mechanical stuff that we can teach, because you cannot teach his leg. So it's going to be something for us to pay attention to, because even though we get MCDC likes to roll the dice, go for it on fourth down, it is becoming more the way of things in the NFL. You also need to have full reliability that when you send a kicker out there, that it's not a coin flip that they're going to make it. You need to believe that 95% of the time they're going to make this kick. So, and right now that's probably a legitimate question mark with Jake Bates. See, Robert, what is going on with Mahogany? He's got an undisclosed non-football related injury. So we're going to have to wait and see what writes itself out. My guess is, and it's just a guess, I do not have insider information, he's probably back this week or next. See, Robert, is our O-line depth enough, Dan? In my opinion, yes. I think it's deeper now than it has been the last few years. Let me, and again, I apologize, guys. My notes crashed or whatever. Probably should have saved them, but hey, hindsight's 20/20, right? I'll put it this way. Skipper, would I love him as a starting offensive tackle? Not without help. Colby, I think he has probably grown enough to where if you put him out there, you're probably at least adequate there. Bulgetter, hey, he started in this league. He started a ton for other teams. I'm sound with him and Yodi as our backup guards. I think you're very good there. Mahogany, if he does get healthy, get back out there, it'll be easier to understand where he's at with things. But right now, just because he hasn't been around really all of training camp, it's hard to grade him. So if he works out and he's healthy, then I think we're really good on the offensive line depth. But right now, you're gonna play the same guessing game as the coaching staff. See, Steve, good morning, Coach Dan of the Duke Crew. Back at you, Steve. How you doing? See, Brent, can't wait to see the secondary snagging some interceptions. We've got a lot of ball hawks on the back end now. Lombardi or bust, exclamation point. Oh, yeah. And good morning to you too, Brent. I think you're right. I think everybody's going to love to watch that secondary develop. See, Steve, looking forward to the first preseason game. I think you have to, right? Rocky, good morning, all. And that was a great race, Stephanie. Shows you what a better lean will do for you if you can catch a football. Man, and I get every time there's some track star that does, put up numbers or times like that, everybody wants to know, can they play football? And I have no idea if the guy can or can't. But, yeah, again, I don't know how you rate who won there, but good job that somebody was able to do it because it's beyond my scope. See, Quentin, greetings, salutations, y'all. What's good with this team is we have speed and depth at everything. No spots where we just don't got it. You're right. We have athletes, and that's why we've talked about playing so many games in domes on, one form or another of AstroTurf. I think you're right. Our speed, our strengths are going to really stand out this year. See, Bo falling forward to the season, 100%. Keep going forward. Fall forward, not backwards. Voltron, good morning, Duke Crew, exclamation point. 3 more days to go, 100%. Thursday will be here quick. Robert, great race for sure. Lyle was happy dude. Man, you have to be because I think when you first watched it, we just happened to be watching it yesterday when it happened. I think everybody assumed, I think it was the Jamaican athlete that won it. Like the way he came out, he thought he did, clearly. But I could also see the argument for like 2 or 3 or 4 guys could have won it. But hey, that was just a phenomenal, literally a photo finish. Okay, good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew. Woo! One pride, 100% hooks. Hopefully you're having a great one. See, Bo, America, I told you, Lions are coming, 100%. We're coming, and we're going for the Super Bowl. The Bean, good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. Great day to be a Lions fan. Arguably the best 53-man roster in the NFL, regardless of who we end up keeping. Woo, baby. Woo, 100%. Argument could be made. We are the best team. Captain America, good morning, all. I'm ready to watch this team go. I want to see what Hooker has. Yeah, I think he's going to be one of the most watched Lions this preseason. See, Brent, Lions are the new America's team. Cowgirls are has-beens. There's probably a lot of truth there. Robert, a talented Hooker is good for sure. Hey, it's worth the investment, right? And see, Soso just wanted to say thank you, Coach, for putting on a show every day. Hey, no worries, man. I love being here every morning. I think most of us do too. So hopefully everybody does. See, Steve, I'm going to jump on that. Thank you to the coach. Let's not forget to give those thumbs up. Yeah, we got a little over almost 600 people watching through all the different platforms. So if you guys could all just, hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button, I'd be thankful. See, Doug, does everyone think we don't have enough depth at any position? I wish I could listen to MCDC's head for just a moment before Thursday's game, what his biggest decisions are. I think our depth is good everywhere. I get some people have questioned the wide receiver room. I think it's better than most of us are anticipating. Robert, Dan is a keeper for sure. Thanks for that, Robert. You're a keeper too. The Bean, I have been there in New Orleans. It is very nice in February. Lions will find it to be a perfect setting for our victory in the big dance. I'll go with that. And yes, hey, let's make sure we get there this year. JDC, Brent DeWitt, Cowboys are now South America's team. Lions are going to be North America's. Hey, that could be a level of truth. Buddy, what up, Duke Crew? What up to you, buddy? Hopefully a great day. See, Robert, we will beat Dallas this year. I think so. I think, hey, maybe the NFL did us a solid by saying you get the week off before the Dallas game. Maybe they understand that maybe there should have been something different last year. See, Brent, JDC, laughing out loud. JDC, Motor City, Duke Crew, 100%. Phil, greetings and salutations back at you, Philly. Let's see, Hookadoo. The Cowboys have a sign up going out of business. One pride, Detroit. Let's put them out of business then. See, Courtney, when is Mardi Gras in 2025 make it to a month-long party? Woo! That I don't know when Mardi Gras is off the top of my head. Somebody else would have to answer that one, Court. Phil, when will Reader be ready? That's the big question. I'm thinking week 1. We'll have to wait and see. John, good morning, all. Hope everyone's doing good. Same to you, John. Hopefully it's a great day for you. Rocky, hopefully Bates will be just fine. 1 minute, everyone wants him and gets a little negative press and are ready to run him out of town. He will be fine. Just go on 4th. We're used to it. Woo! Yeah, could just go for it on 4th down all the time. Maybe he's out there just for kickoffs and stuff. I think you give him more time to grow and develop. He's only been kicking for about a year and a half. Yeah, he's going to be fine. I see kneecaps biting with Motor City Lions. Greetings, salutations, Coach and Duke Crew. Same to you, my friend. Hopefully you're having a great one. See, buddy, what do you got? Woo! Oh, yeah. We'll go with that, buddy. And thank you for that. Trumps, woo! Yes, we'll go with that. Let's see. JIK, love the show, but hate the woo. You know, there are some that do hate it 100%. So sorry about that, man. Do the best we can. JDC, puff, woo, coffee, and Lions Talk Live. I'll go with that 100%. And good morning, JDC. Brent, make way, NFL. The unfinished business season is almost upon us. Go Lions. It is, man. We are days away from our first kickoff of the season, for the Lions at least. Motown, greetings, salutations, Duke Crew, Lions rule, Bears drool. I'll go with that. Kneecaps, woo! All right. Yada, yada. Good morning, Coach. Good morning to you, too. Hopefully you're having a great one. Joseph, good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew! Exclamation points. I love this show. It's the absolute best. Watch it more than anything in my life. Well, thanks for that, man. Thank you. And you know what? We love having you here, too. Say no to communism. All right, fair enough, Trump. So hopefully you and Captain America can handle that. See, Derek, good morning, Coach and crew. I think we are still on big name player. We are still a big name player at wide receiver or defensive line from the Super Bowl. Do you think we could add more? Oh, absolutely. If the front office, Brad Holmes, wants to add somebody else or the right person gets cut and we want to try to pick them up, could we make a move? Absolutely. We've got the cap space for it. JDC, I agree with Trump. So okay. See, Ken, great salutations, Coach and Duke Crew. Love watching every day. Well, watch 2 days a week. Listen while driving 5 days a week. Okay, that works out well. Trying not to float away here in Florida. Yeah, I heard you guys getting a lot of rain. Let's go, Lions. Woo! And good morning. Stay away from all the floating away rains that may take you, I don't know, somewhere. I was trying to rhyme something there, but didn't do so well. All right, Joseph C., I started doing this last season, which is go back and watch a lot of the highlight games, more so probably because never really wanted to do so well since Barry Sanders days. Yeah, Barry would have put on, him and that team would put on a lot of highlights, but now you got an opportunity with this team to do a whole lot of highlighting. All right, let's see. Trump's with a tank full of gas and a wallet full of cash. You are free with electric vehicles and digital currency. You are controlled. All right, we'll go with that. See, is that still you? Trees. All right, we'll go with trees. All right, Key. Yo, Coach Dan, happy Monday. Thank you for that. Back at you. Exclamation point. Love your intro and transitions, mini cut flashes. It reminds me of some nostalgic OG Nickelodeon font layouts from the 90s. All right, I'll go with that. Man, that's the throwback with Nickelodeon. I haven't watched that in a long time, since my kid was, I don't know, 2 or 3 or something like that. It's been a while since she's watched that. So, all right, the Bean, preseason football is going to determine a lot of for this team. These joint practices are a genius idea. Such a good work getting put in. Competition is awesome. Yeah, and competition makes the team grow, makes the player grow. So I'm with you there. See, JDC, hail the colors blue and silver. Let them wave, sing their song, and cheer the gridiron heroes brave. Fighting for fame, winning the game, dashing to victory as they go. I'll go with that, and thank you for that. I probably need to add the Lions theme song or fight song, I should say, to one of the pop-ups in here just to play from time to time. See, Joseph C., which I'm sure none of us cannot wait until we get back with San Francisco or Dallas this year. Go Lions. Woo! Yeah, those games will be circled on the calendar for sure for a lot of Lions fans. See, Brett, I hope we smash the Cowgirls. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm guessing the Lions will have a little extra energy that game. See, Key, Lions versus Giants this Thursday, 7 p.m. in the first preseason game. Check your local listings for details or just check out Stream East. Yes, Stream East is something I have used for a while and enjoy it. See, Michael, good morning, Dan. Good morning to you, too. Hopefully you're having a great one. See, buddy, what up, though? Smoking JB. There we go. Smoking JB is probably smoking and waking up. See, Key, yo, I heard the Lions were ranked in 83 in Madden. That's mad disrespectful if that's true. I think it is true. Don't hold me to that, but that sounds about right. The only other thing is that they were one of the better teams overall in Madden. I want to say they're number 4 or 5. So, again, don't hold me to that, but that sounds right. Naveen, one of the biggest things is to remain healthy throughout camp. We are very deep almost everywhere, but we have to stay healthy coming out of camp. Yeah, that would be a big advantage for us going to week 1 if we can pull that off. See, Chuck E. Cheese, greetings, salutations. Good morning, everyone. I think Bates needs a little rest. Could be just that. Maybe he needed a day off just to kind of cool the jets, find himself. Kurt Steele, what up, though, Duke Crew? What up to you, too, Man of Steel? See, JDC, for grins and giggles' sakes, I watched old Lions versus human videos from the Coliseum in Rome. Man, I did those. That is old school, yeah, and not a game I would want to take part in. No offense, just because, hey, I don't think I'd do well against the Lions. See, Joseph, man, we've been getting better every year over the last 4 years, and there is only one way to get better this year. Well, two ways. One is to make it to the Super Bowl. The other is to win the Super Bowl. I'm going with the latter one. Let's go get there and win it. See, Joseph, which I think we're going to win it this year. I think there's a lot of people thinking we're in it to win it this year. See, Kerry, I said that on Thursday about the kicker. I went to their practice Thursday and said this guy is not very good. Games will come down to field goals, and that's going to be our downfall. Yeah, it's probably something I got to imagine the Lions are monitoring and, making some choices with. We'll go that way. One Funky, feel bad for the Bears players, sure, but never the fans. See, there you go, 100%. I like what you did there, One Funky. Don just popping in to make sure Broski isn't here dropping BS. I have not seen him this morning, but we'll wait and see. See, One Funky, Don, what's good, my guy? Brent, looking like another year with no reliable kicker. MCDC will just keep going for it on fourth down. If you don't believe the kicker can do it, then yeah, you're probably going for it. Kim, Bates needs some time to acclimate to the NFL. Does not have the experience that many kickers have. This is true. He's only been kicking field goals for about a year and a half. Needs seasoning. Just can't do it at the cost of games. Needs more development. I would agree with all that, Kim, 100%. Buddy, bring the Bears and Packers on. I'm tired of hearing how good they think they are. And we're going to get our opportunities against them. Broski, just call my name and I'll be there. Well, hey, welcome back, my friend. See, Don, One Funky, all is well. It's about that time. It is, 100%. Broski, you've been here. Well, I am too. I saw you Friday dropping nonsense. I couldn't reply. All right, well, I'm glad you guys are here. See, JDC, on paper, the Lions offense looks so potent that a kicker wouldn't be needed. It'd probably be less impactful, but you do need somebody to kick those extra points, unless you're going to go for two all the time. Yada, yada. Bates will be fine. He's just a rookie. He's going to have some woes. It's fine. Instead, worrying about Bates, we need if Dan going to have the Lions ready to play in the third quarter. Hell, I'm worrying about Goff. Yeah, overcome the third quarter thing that we saw last year where they just kind of fell asleep. I agree with that. Take care of that. Broski, you and I must make a pact. We must bring salvation back where there is love. I'll be there. I'll reach out my hand to you. Have faith in all that you do. Just call my name and I'll be there. Well, that's very touching, Broski. Very, very touching. Heartfelt this morning. See, yada, yada, choking in the Super Bowl. Let's not choke in the Super Bowl. Let's win the Super Bowl. Choke the other team in the Super Bowl. JDC, Broski Bear, I'll call you Little Sunshine, all right? Kerry, but there's a difference between putting 6 points as opposed to 7. That loses games. Yeah, let's go ahead and get the 7 all the time. Unless we can get 8. I'll take 8. See, One Funky, people act like DC had a stud kicker. It would change the way he calls games. I wouldn't. He played for OT one time, and the Lions never got the ball back. He won't leave it up to a coin flip ever again. Yeah, against Seattle, where he played for the field goal, where I still think he should have went for the win there, or at least been a little bit more assertive with some of those last calls in the final, whatever it was, 30 seconds. Maybe that sticks with him and resonates. Steven, tripping over my feet and busted my front tooth in half. Sorry to hear that, man. I'm officially looking ready for football season now. Hey, I like what you're doing there. You're getting everybody ready. You're smiling, letting everybody know it's football time. So, hey, way to take one for the team. See, Don, F all the sing-along crap. It's Detroit versus everybody. It always is, my friend. Always is. One Funky, Sunfield was a stud last camp. It's no surprise that he's doing well again. Third-string defense. There could be a lot to that. And some guys, hey, man, I use this analogy all the time. There was a guy I once went out and had a scout for one of the pro leagues overseas. You'd watch him, and you would think he was Michael Jordan, as long as the game was not close. If his team was getting blown out by 15, 20 points, or if they were winning by 15, 20 points, this dude was just off the charts good. But that game got to within 10 or less. Yeah, he couldn't bounce the ball off his leg out of bounds any faster if he tried. Sutfield could be that guy. See, JDC defense wins the big one, 100%. Broski, Don Burr, not a fan of the Jackson 5. All right, that's a question. Yada, yada. Broski, stop trolling the Lions. We all know you got a crush on the Lions. Go worry about the Bears. We'll go with that, 100%. Derek, we already know what we have in Sutfield. Do you think Hooker gets the majority of snaps this preseason? If it was me, Derek, yeah, he'd be getting the entire first half each of the preseason games. Maybe an argument could be made for the first 3 quarters and let Nate Sutfield get, I don't know, half the third quarter and all the fourth quarter. That's what I would do because I want to develop Hooker as much as possible. All right, Gary, good morning, all. Grit for life, exclamation points. All those that had doubts, I knew our boy Houston would make it, Coach. Yes, there's no way James Houston would not be on the lineup if I'm in charge. And I do have him, again, just to reference it, I do have him backing up Aiden Hutchinson, not starting, but that is because unlike last year and the year before, the Lions clearly this preseason, or I should say it appears to me this preseason, they're trying to go more 3-down interior defensive linemen, control that line of scrimmage, and free up linebackers or ends to rush more. Now, in that scenario, could James Houston start? Yes, and that's why you think you're seeing him, Davenport, Betts all basically be asked to be the Sam linebacker because they want them coming in that weak side that normally a defensive end would. But we'll see what happens in the regular season or even the preseason. See, Don, not a Jackson 5 time. Turn in some DMX. Time to get gritty and rugged. I'll go with that. John, I don't care who they throw in there. We're still going to be good. I agree with that. We've got a lot of depth. Dave, does our defense still look gritty and strong versus the run? Does our defense still look slow versus the pass? No, I think it looks fast all the way around. Strong gets the run, but noticeably improved against just any offense really out there. Of course, you got to do that in the games that matter when people actually scheme for you. See, John, Thunder and Lightning, I'll go with that. JDC, Grit, Rocks, all right. Motown will be going to Titans game this year. Be first time back to Detroit since the first playoff game. Well, go enjoy it. Have a great time when the time arises. Broski, Don Barrett, X, going to give it to you. Here you go. I do miss some DMX. See, Don, just know this. Whoever is cut, look for the Bears to try and pick them up our crumbs, exclamation points. Bears fans say such and such sucks for Detroit, but if cut, join the Bears. Watch how they hype that player up. I'll go with that 100%. Let's see, Brent, yep, Don Burr, buddy, bring in Jason Hanson to help Bates. Maybe that's what they'll do, or Eddie Murray. John, I agree with Don Burr also. All right, okay. JDC, Stormfront, rolling in for NFL stadiums near you. I'll watch for it. One funky, Don, to be fair, that happens with every sport for all fan bases. My ma hated Chelios as a Hawk, but love to him in Detroit. It's just the way it is. Yeah, good thought there with Chris Chelios. John, can't wait to see Broderick Martin play. Yeah, I think a lot of eyes are on him and Levi Onwuzurike for sure. See, Don, one funky, true, but the way Bears fans talk about the players, it's a bunch of BS. Hey, sometimes it happens, man. See, Broski, Don Burr, if the Lions are cutting any O-lineman, I might take you up on that. Yeah, Broski, I don't know if you saw, but, man, your team is really struggling, sort of like the Rams, with injuries on the O-line. See, John, that's a fact. They got more and more stuff on their team, and we got ours. We don't have none. All right, JDC, laughing out loud. Don Burr, Broski, Don Burr, you mean when you troll Bears chants, they come at you? It happens, man. Don Burr, skipping the Bears. JDC, oh, boy, here we go. Yes, indeed. Let's see, Don, yep, let's go. John, I'm here. Yes, you are. See, Joseph, can't wait. I agree. JDC, one do crew, yell at 3. 1, 2, 3. Woo! I'll go with that, JDC. Thanks for that. David, is J-Mo okay getting off the jam? Yeah, and that's one thing. Rakestraw's jammed him up a few times. Rakes, man, he is playing very well in camp, and I think we all get that. He's going to get burnt like Arnold or any corner, and they're going to get burnt a little bit more because they are rookies. But to your point, Rakestraw a couple times has gone at J-Mo and knocked him down to the ground. J-Mo has come back consistently when that happens and roasted the guy. So he's developing. He's added some weight and strength, especially in his core muscles and his lower legs. See, Broski, Don Burr, why are you crying about it, tough guy? Don Burr is crying because he trolls Bears chats and they don't like it. How were you raised? All right, fair enough. Don, the body crossing the line is what matters, coach. Okay, thanks for that. Yeah, I don't know all this stuff, man. I see feet cross and I go, I would assume that means you win, but obviously it doesn't. Buddy, woo! I'll go with that. Pat, hey, Coach, just about screenage time. Oh, yeah. Woo! And go with that. And go with that. Yes, Don, Broski, F the Bears. I like what I said. Whip. All right. JDC, the feeling you get when you lean back away too far in the chair and you're sitting in, and it goes backward past the point of no return. Well, hopefully you don't fall down. Kurt, I'm here doing chores in the background. Yes, you are. So enjoy it and getting ready for your podcast, I'm sure. See, Broski, Kurt Steele, the Jackson 5, your thoughts. Don Burr isn't a fan. It happens, man. Not everybody likes everybody. See, Don, don't burn your choice. Don't burn our choir boy, Kurt. There you go. See, Don, I'm just here to keep the Detroit foot on Broski's neck. Yes, you place it well. Double Diamond, what do you got? Happy Civic holiday. August, a long weekend to all who celebrate. All right. Yes. Go enjoy and celebrate. See, Double Diamond, what do you got? Go Lions, 1,000%. Go Lions, and good, thank you for that. See, Kurt, laughing out loud. I'm back at 8 a.m. today. There you go. Get that show going. In fact, it's about that time for me to get you guys over there. Sorry I didn't make it as far through the comments as possible. Let me get a few more in. People that maybe don't always get on. Let's see. John Hutchinson is a sack master, 100%. Ozzy, good morning. Duke crew. Watched the San Fran game last night, and I had to say that play with Vildor, they were calling pass interference. The ref threw the flag. Shake my head. Go Lions. Yeah, there's that part too. Let's see. David, what's our weakest 3 spots of 53? I'll have to leave that for a debate for another time. Let's see. 9 Drinks. Good morning, Duke crew. Back at you. Key, John, please. All right. Ozzy, also on the Tampa game, Davis was the player that got blocked by Raymond and to get first in the zone. Go Lions. All right. Let's see. David, bubble players play the most in preseason. I would agree with that. Yeah, get them out there. Michael, let's hope the Lions don't need 50-yard field goals to win games. Jason Hansen tried that, and it worked once in a while in the 90s. Yeah, 90s, man, that was the thing, though. Jason, happy late morning. Duke Crew, Superdome or bust. I'll go with that. Brian, good morning from Lapeer, Michigan. Home of Jake Long, played for Miami Dolphins. Yes, he did. Home of Max Crosby also. Another person a lot of Lions fans would like to get. See, Pat, I missed the 53-man roster. I have to go back and watch it. Oh, yeah. Let me know your thoughts when you get a free moment. Let's see. Jesus, what do you got? No way if he starts for Kirby. I'm thinking Branch and Kirby start. Yeah, an argument could definitely be made for both of them. 100%, man. 100%. James, it is against the NFL rules to pray for Lions victories. I don't think it is. Hallelujah, BS, Levi, loading, long time. Let's go. I'll go with that. Let's see, Bo, happy trails to you all. Done, dusted. See you all tomorrow. Keys, yada, yada. Why are you worried about Jared Goff? Let's hope nobody worries about him. Let's see, Trump's Bears, no more Michael Jackson. There you go. All right, Kurt Steele, Bo Booth, later Gator. Kurt Steele, see you guys over in the show. Yeah, get over to the show. Dan Lyon, Super Bowl or bust, 1,000% with that. And then Hookadoo, see y'all tomorrow, Duke Crew, Grit. All right, guys, try to get through as many of the comments as I could. Got to the end, try to get everybody in. So hopefully you have a great day. If there is some breaking news later today, I'll get it over to you as fast as possible. If you would be so kind, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Do something kind for somebody you don't know. And we'll see you all in the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody.
Happy trails to you until we meet again.